Hello everyone, welcome back. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about this Federal aluminum ammunition. I just got in a shipment. I got about 2,600 rounds here. This is good stuff. I've been using this now for at least a year. Um, for the last 7 or 8 years, I was using Tula ammo. Works great. Never had any problems with Tula. And the fiction that some people float that it will hurt your guns is an absolute fiction. This gun over here has about 80,000 rounds on it, and 90% of that was Tula steel case. Okay, so it will not hurt your gun because basically the extractor and all the metal parts in the gun are much harder than the steel case. Okay, but about a year ago, I started having a little difficulty finding Tula, so I said, you know what, let me try some of this Federal aluminum, which was about the same price. You know, it was maybe a couple of cents more expensive, but not that much. And at the same time, I was also experimenting with the Winchester steel case, and I still use both of them. Lately I've been using the Federal aluminum, and I've been using the Winchester steel case. With the Winchester steel case, I have found that the cases on the outside, they do have somewhat of a rough texture. I don't know if they coat it with something, but I believe that rough texture that's on the Winchester steel cases, it creates a little bit more friction as the rounds are feeding and extracting. And what I've noticed is that new shooters will tend to jam it. Now, this is not because of the ammunition. This is entirely a user error. Okay, they're lip bursting it. They're not using good form. So this is entirely a user error. But what I have found is that the Winchester steel case is less forgiving in new shooters. Okay, so if you're using bad form, if you're shooting from an awkward position, it's less forgiving. Whereas this Federal aluminum, because the cases seem to be a little bit smoother, it's a little bit more forgiving if you have a new shooter with bad form, or if you're shooting from a really awkward position and you're not using good form. Okay? Now, one of the things I have found with this, it is a little less powerful than other ammunition. I ran this through a chronograph, and basically it gets about a velocity of 1,100 feet per second. So I did a calculation that came out to 315 foot-pounds of energy. Okay, now comparing it to Tula, Tula was averaging velocities of about 1150. All right, so that was getting about 340 foot-pounds, and the Winchester steel case was actually coming in a little faster at 1180. Okay, 1180 feet per second, and it was giving me an average energy of 360 foot-pounds. Okay, so you got the Winchester. You have the Winchester at 360 foot-pounds. You have the Tula at 340 foot-pounds, and this stuff is at the Federal aluminum at 315 foot-pounds. Okay, 315. So it is significantly weaker. However, I have found that it is, among those three, it is the most accurate. When I've done shooting at a distance, I found that I got the tightest groups. I've shot this out of a 9mm rifle, and this aluminum, this Federal aluminum was giving me tighter groups than either Tula or Winchester steel case. So this is definitely good stuff. I buy this, I just got in a shipment of some 2,600 rounds. It's really good stuff. One of the benefits I have found of the aluminum over the steel case, as far as long-term storage, is that the aluminum doesn't rust as easy. Okay, the steel, naturally will rust, I got tons of stuff. If I could just reach down right here, you can see I got steel case ammo right here. That's just rusting all over the place here. So steel case will rust. And recently I found out, to my surprise, how quickly it had rusted. I left out a couple of, I think I left maybe 5 rounds out for over 4 or 5 days accidentally. And when I came back to them, they had already started to show signs of rust on it. Okay, so I'm actually doing a controlled experiment at this point, because I did shoot those, and what I found is that with a little bit of rust, and like I said, it wasn't like they were rusting through. There was just a tiny little bit of rust on it. With the 5 rounds that I shot, what was happening is the on 2 of the rounds, the gun failed to go into battery. So I had to basically tap it in the back to get it to go into battery. And then with the other rounds, what I found is that while they were feeding and going into battery, the slide was basically moving slower. So basically it was sticking on the way in and then going into battery and firing. So that is, I mean, that's definitely an issue with steel case as far as long-term storage, because, basically I mean, anything can get wet, especially in combat conditions. Things are going to get wet. So right now I'm in the process of doing a control experiment on that, where I've got some steel case ammo in a wet environment, and I want to see how quickly it rusts out. Like I said, I knew that it would rust, but I just was surprised that it was rusting as quickly as 3 or 4 days. So I'm redoing that. The first time I did it by accident. Now I'm doing it on purpose to see, and keeping better track of it. And I'll make a video when I'm shooting those rounds. But that's what I wanted to say. And I did do a prior video on this Federal aluminum. The last time I did this video was about a year ago. At that point, I had only been shooting it for about, I think, 2 or 3 months, and I had shot some, good 2,000 rounds at that point when I did this. At this point, I've shot some 12,000 rounds of this stuff, and and this stuff is good. I mean, I stand by it. This is good stuff. Good, cheap stuff. I'm very happy with it. I would definitely recommend it to you guys. And I shoot this both out of, all my 9mm handguns, my Glocks, my SIG, my Beretta. I shoot it out of that. I also shoot out of my Beretta CX4 rifle. So it works just fine out of my 9mm rifle. So if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.